Let's now review the elements for inserting images into your HTML pages. Before placing images on your pages using the elements described here, be sure to save them. Best to save them to a subdirectory called images. Place your images in a directory under the directory where your web pages are located. This should probably be called your root directory or be identified as your root directory. So again, the root directory contains all the content of your website. Inside that root directory, create another subdirectory, label that one images with a lowercase I. Now in HTML, images are defined with the image tag or the IMG tag, as you can see right here in this page. This is the code for creating this page here with a single image on it. The IMG tag indicates that an image, such as a photograph, icon, animation, cartoon, or other graphic, is to be displayed at that location. The browser puts the image where the image tag occurs in the document. If you put an image tag between two paragraphs, the browser shows the first paragraph, then the image, and then the second paragraph. In HTML4, the image tag is empty, which means that it contains attributes only and that it has no closing tag. However, XHTML and HTML5 does require a closing tag in the form of a / sign. Now, to display an image on a page, you also need the SRC or source attribute. The value of the source attribute is the URL of the image you want to display on your page. This URL, or Uniform Resource Locator, as I've reviewed earlier, is a web address or a path to the location of a file on your server, plus the name of the graphic image file, such as graphic.gif or graphic.jpg. Again, the URL points to the location where the image is stored on your server. If the image is located within the same directory as the document, the tag would simply read image source equals and then in quotation marks the name of that file. Now this geek.gif file is stored in my working files folder, but if I followed the advice that I just gave you and stored it in an images subfolder, the path would read like this: images / geek.gif. If this image was stored on another website, I would then include the full path inside the quotation marks to that website. For example, http://www.w3schools.com /images /geek.gif. So this would be the uniform resource locator for this file if it was located on the w3schools.com website in a subdirectory labeled images, again with a lowercase I, and the name of the file is geek.gif. Notice that I have some attributes included here, including the width of the image, the height of the image, and then there's an alt tag. More about the alt tag in a moment, but let me demonstrate the self-explanatory width and height. Let's say that I called this width 190. Let's go ahead and save this document. Bring back my browser, reload the page in the browser, and then notice that the image actually isn't showing because it's distorted too much, but you can also see my alt tag behind there. Let's change this to 60 on the width and 60 on the height. Oh, actually, I'm pointing to the wrong place. That's why it's not showing the image. Let's go ahead and change that to gif.geek. You won't find that image on that website. And now let's save this. Very common mistake there. And now let's refresh. And now you'll see that the image is 60 pixels high and 60 pixels wide. So there you have the attributes for setting the dimensions of your images. Now the alt attribute stands for alternative text and is used to define an alternate text for the image. The value of the alt attribute is author defined text. As I've said here, this is the Geek logo. This tells the reader what he or she is missing on a page. If the browser can't load the image like I just demonstrated there, I couldn't load it because I was pointing to the wrong location, but it did show the alt text in place of the image. The alt text also tells anyone who can't view your image what the image is about, as well as disabled users who are using a screen reader. They can't see the image, but the screen reader will read out the alt text so that the disabled person can get an idea of the graphic content on that page. Also, when you mouse over the image on some browsers, the alternate text pops up as a tooltip. For example, if you load the images.html file in your Internet Explorer browser and then mouse over my image, notice it says Geek logo there. That's the alt tag showing as a tooltip. You won't notice this in this recording, but if you mouse over in your copy of Internet Explorer, you will see that Geek logo tooltip. Now, the search engines also use the image alt tags to determine what the image is about, because the search engines also cannot read those images, but the alt tag will help search engines rank a page in their search listings. So for all three of these reasons, it's very important that you always include a descriptive alt tag for all of your images. Using the alt attribute as I've done right here, alt equals, and then in quotation marks, simply add your descriptive alternative text for that image. Let me now move on to the next movie and review in more detail the various attributes of the image tag in HTML 4.01 and also HTML5.